All right, welcome back. Thank you all for staying with us on that one. Inky Splash Zone, going to be the location for our round 4 matchup. I'm keen to get this one underway. Again, Jamers Gamers taking on Dead Before Overtime. Two teams that I kind of picked to be in the mosh pit for this one. Era and Kai will be the bands. Now, of course, we're going to be seeing this pick a bit more from the spectating view of Dead Before Overtime. This is a team... This is one of those teams where, like, if one of the projected top 4s was having a bad day, I could see Dead Before Overtime easily kind of slinking on through. Munchlac, in particular, on this Rasmus, is going to be my key player to look out for on the Jamers Gamers. For me, eyes are always on SBV and how well they can step up. As we take a look at the picks, Octavia, a bit of an interesting one. Also a Dubu goalie with the Estelle, so I could see Dead Before Overtime playing a little bit further back than usual, which is interesting. Normally on this map, it's speed and sort of rush down has been the meta for a while, and I'm not sure Dead Before Overtime has picked a comp that will necessarily reflect that. We'll see how it plays out as we get into this. Opening Awakenings, Aerials for Kudokudo and Koinks. Meanwhile, Cast to Last for literally every other player, and already you can see the faster team comp, the rushdown team comp. Well, they're the ones who get the first barrier. They're the ones who get the first goal. Credit to SBV as the Jamers Gamers strike first. Nothing too surprising there, I would assume, just based on how fast they can get that goal. Meanwhile, as we stick with this one, as we see John Wheeler holding down the top side of that map again. I see you guys down there, and I can once again just say hey to you, Twitch chat, how to get you back up there. You're my co-caster. If you have any good color points, I will read it out. John Wheeler, though, under a bit of pressure right now. Munchlac trying to force it through, does get that first barrier. Water gun used immediately as SlurpFactory was standing on it, and maybe not to its most effective use. SBV doing a good job holding down the fort on the other end, and now Koinks and John Wheeler can get a bit more unleashed. John Wheeler only a couple touches away alongside SBV from getting their core strike, so 2 core strikes soon to be available on the side of Jamers Gamers, as SBV does not get it yet, but they do get the barrier. That's dangerous. Koinks has to lock and load, make the first save. Does make the second, but the redirect from Kudokudo will find its mark. And we're going to be looking at a 1-1 game. Yeah, we are hoping for a fast match. I'm with you, Kamimura. Again, Aerials on this one. Super, super good pick, which is why not surprised to see Koinks on that direct goal keep here. As SBV down on that bot side, unable to help defend the barrier. Koinks is going to let that one fall. SBV now looking to go down low. Kudokudo gets their first out score flip using the water jet. Good pendulum, but not good enough. John Wheeler has to burn core flip to keep it alive, and then uses their own pendulum to take down the barrier. Opposite side, SBV finds theirs, goes to the water gun, but the tofu wall will be able to save it. Core flip used by Koinks to make the save on the goal line. SBV tries to step forward. No one quite able to catch that hook, though. John Wheeler not successful in the fishing. Core flip from Munchlac doesn't get the KO, but does get the goal. And it's going to be 2-1 now in favor of the team in blue. So, gave up the first goal, but Dead Before Overtime now starting to bring it back. 1 goal away for the first set. See if they can find it. Koinks keeping it up high. Pendulum from Munchlac, keeping it against that wall. Kudo tries to jump right in the middle, unable to make the save, and now here comes that water gun, but SlurpFactory throws it low instead of into the gun itself. A little bit surprising. That will cause the second barrier to fall. SBV tries to toe the line. Unfortunately, it just kind of clips that barrier. Tofu wall keeping things held on that top side. SlurpFactory staying behind the wall, but can't get to the core that somehow squeezes through. I ain't sure about that one, Chief, but John Wheeler's going to get credit for the goal on that. I don't know how that one fit, but fair enough. Tie game, 2 apiece. Koinks trying to keep it off of that back barrier. SlurpFactory stays with it as well, as Koinks again keeps it in more midfield. SlurpFactory tries to pass it down low to Kudo. Kudo can't get too far with it. Going, elusive just to make sure they make the save. Good little touch from Koinks. Doing what they can. As Koinks still keeps it held up high, trying to keep it in that corner. SBV trying to create space, fighting through the middle. John Wheeler can only go so far with it. SBV staying on the play. Eventually, we do see that lock and load happen down low. John Wheeler again. A little swing, a little bit of a miss. Koinks unable to defend the barrier, but Munchlac's touch slightly off. And this is... Are we going to see an Inky's OT? It's so rare but it's on the table right now as neither side can get to the opposition's barrier. Munchlac had a chance up top, not quite able to find it through. Koinks keeping that pressure in the corner. Kudokudo as well in midfield, unable to get it around John Wheeler. A lot of strike wars, often sitting in these neutral positions. Kudokudo snipe, not quite there, going fishing. Actually works against Munchlac temporarily as John Wheeler nearly got the powerful strike. Another big save by SlurpFactory, protecting that little corner. I mean, that's the most frequent area to hit on that barrier, and somehow SlurpFactory is able to hold it down. Core flips available now on multiple members, John Wheeler and SlurpFactory being the two big ones. Kudokudo there as well, as SBV won't be able to get it through the tofu wall. John Wheeler, core flip, not going to use it just yet. SBV with the core flip available in this situation. It's flip to delayed touch. SBV missed on 2 strikes pressure, I think, getting to these players. As how is this overtime still going? Finally, SBV able to find it now with the water gun available. Koinks is going to use it, but loses their barrier on the other side. Up the road we go. Now back the other way. Munchlac went for damage, pendulums it into the gun, but not enough to get the break. It's going to be a 2v3. Core flip buys time, but Munchlac gets the dunk, and the first set will go to dead before overtime. Good goal right there. As I'm 1 second, you're gonna hear. So, 1 set in the books. Apologies for that. Had to take a little bit of a water break is what we're going to call it on this one. As the draft picks are coming through, built different. That priority pick going over to SlurpFactory. Twin Drive, meanwhile, going to be the priority pick the other way on to one John Wheeler. I also like the chrono. Taken away from Koinks as well, picked up by Kudokudo, and it's going to get more range, I should say, on some of those teleports. So I'm going to be curious to see if Kudokudo is going to use that to be a bit more aggressive instead. Has to use that first teleport defensively. Always a little bit awkward in that situation. Now Kudokudo stuck in their own tofu prison. Not quite able to break out of that either way. This could be a longer series than what we initially saw. Like, if that first set, that last point is anything to go by, we're not seeing as much as that rushdown as I was expecting. We're seeing a lot more sort of 1v1 strike wars, although now that it's open, SlurpFactory is going to step forward, hit that water gun. John Wheeler disrupts it the first time, but not the second. Munchlac wanted the pass back to Kudokudo. Doesn't find it. SBV sitting all over them, but can't really do too much in the 1v2. Koinks puts it back towards SBV, as there is Death's Touch. Able to fish for that shot. Munchlac credit for the goal and saved their flip in the process, as we are sitting 1-0 on this one. Here we go. Point number 2. Kickoff looks good initially for dead before overtime, but not quite able to stay with it entirely. Koinks doing what they can to protect the barrier. SlurpFactory going to go ahead, roll on down, has a core flip available, doesn't use it quite yet. As Kudokudo stays with the pressure up on that top side. Koinks again trying to do what they can, loses that lower barrier, and now the pressure could come down. Water gun not quite going to make many targets on that. SlurpFactory still has core flip, has to burn it. SBV in their face, unable to make the save. Good angle from Slurp as now Kudokudo steps forward, wins a nice duel, but Koinks makes the save on the line. John Wheeler wanted to take that upper corridor up and through. Death's Touch finds Kudokudo, but doesn't help SBV get the pressure that they need. Now Munchlac wanted to dribble. Pendulum doesn't quite get it. Going to try again. This time sneaks it underneath. And it's going to be a 2-0 lead in favor of dead before overtime. Here we go. Point number 3. As we continue with this one, Munchlac versus John Wheeler. The initial duel sees a pendulum go in favor. How Koinks misses, I do not know. A little bit of a small disaster right there. Water gun used maybe a little bit prematurely, but does find the core. Core flip, though, by John Wheeler is going to save the shot from Kudokudo. Now gets a couple touches towards the barrier, but is unable to quite put it through just yet. SBV as well being denied. SlurpFactory touches right on that line. Has to use the tofu wall, though. Long cooldown, but going to have another water gun available, I feel like, on this point at minimum. Barrier does come down, and do we see dueling water guns right now? Fire the cannon, it's not even needed. Goal goes to Munchlac. Second set, 3-0 in favor of dead before overtime. Munchlac looking very, very strong at the end of this one. Now sitting 3-0, 1 away from an interesting sweep. So, I'm gonna a hot take, hot take right now. Until the drop right there, Rasmus's theme sucks. It's saved a little bit by the drop, and this is from someone who loves strings. But the worst part of Rasmus getting MVPs, and one of the big reasons why I hate Amy's map, Amy's app, I should say, is because I just did the fancy posh strings. I'm waiting for Rasmus to go through his like attitude era, Triple H sort of reimagining. Either way, Munchlac's going to go ahead and get the first goal in a 1v3 effort. As we're going to get that one through. Yeah, I figured everyone's going to say I'll take on that. That's fine. I'll eat it. Again, it gets good after the drop, but the start, I don't know, man. Just takes me out of it. I'm too blue collar and too American for you all right? Here we go, though. 1-0 lead right now in favor of what is going to be dead before overtime. Let's see if they bring this one back. All right, hold on. Here we go, though. I'm actually kind of curious with you guys then. If Rasmus doesn't have the worst theme, who actually does? SPV, Dunk on SlurpFactory, making it one apiece. Because you have to say someone is the worst. Someone has to be the worst. Who has the worst theme then, if not Rasmus? Also, I like how Bazabil actually got the reference I was going for. Thank you, Bazabil. I thought that was going to be a big miss from everyone. Here we go, though. Kudo trying to get something down underneath. Not able to get too much just yet. Munchlac across that middle. Losing out on some of that pressure. Pendulum holds down the fort. Core flip still available for Munchlac. And, they bait the pendulum out of John Wheeler. Doesn't really work, though. SPV's flip is going to create space. Munchlac nearly gets KO'd. Is staggered. Koinks looking forward, but the lock and load not quite able to get there. Maybe the cannon will, or more importantly, maybe the cannon will open up the goal. They do get the KO. Lock and load saves the barrier on the other side. Best touch, not quite enough to take out Munchlac as SPV misses the play up top. Koinks loses the duel to Munchlac. No way Munchlac brings it back. No way Munchlac gets the goal. 2-1 lead in favor of dead before overtime. Oh, now everyone's arguing over themes. Yes, that's what we want. That's the chaos we need. Oh, Juno's theme is... I'm a sucker for, like, cheesy, admittedly bad bubble pop electro music. John Wheeler core flip goal. Tied 2-all. Let's keep this going. All right. 2 aside. As the music gets ominous here. Looking very, very dire right now. It's match point in favor of dead before overtime. Koinks somehow making the save right before the barrier does fall. Has that core flip available as well. So keep your eyes on that direct goalie should they fall under pressure. I mean, Koinks has been having a bit of a roughie. Munchlac kind of got a bit of a stuff right there, it looked like, but didn't really hit the barrier. But Koinks being the lowest level, always shocking when the goalie is the lowest level. Either way, Koinks goes invisible, gets a nice touch up top. Munchlac, though, will use the core flip, buy some space, goes up high, hits the barrier, crazy double doink angle, and now that is the goal open up for the match. Kudo looking for Munchlac, doesn't get the swing in, but has Death's touch, pass to himself, lock and load misses, and Munchlac gets it done. 3-2 in the third set for the clean sweep. Dead before overtime, getting it done over Jamers Gamers. Yes, Saladoco. Juno sounds like a YouTuber background. Absolutely. All right. I agree. It's like bubblegum pop electro crap, and I love it. That is the Juno theme. I will admit it is bad, but it's a guilty pleasure. Either way, though, Munchlac 8 goals for himself in that one. Pretty spectacular effort off that Rasmus, and I said it at the start. He was going to be the difference maker for this team. Was going to be the player to watch. Happy I at least got one prediction right when it's all said and done on that. Look, we're going to be going to game 5, or round 5, I should say, after a break, and have a little bit of a treat for you. Normally, this is where Jamers Gamers would join us, but because, you know, they're in the middle of playing, and there's another team that isn't here, so we are going to be getting... 2 glasses of milk, please, on stream to cast our next couple matches. And the fun thing about this, for everyone who saw the Coachable Cup scrims and saw what that stream was like, I'm hoping that's the kind of chaos we're going to get when we come back. I'm going to have some dinner. I'll be back for the finals, so stick around. Round 5 of Swiss when we return.